is Seann Scott with a William in the middle spot. He makes us all laugh. Welcome to the Seann Shack.
Hello and welcome to Good Boys Gone Bland, Season 8, Episode 10, American Pie. I am one of your masters of seduction, Denali.
Yeah, I'm your co-host, Ryan.
And it's your boy, Daddy Duncan, JCB.
Welcome. Thank you. Sorry, JCB.
That's okay.
Welcome to the Art of Seduction podcast. I got a little premature there, Jace. My bad. Where we're going to be talking about the art of seductions. We are seduction experts. First piece of advice, start a podcast. They love that. Start a podcast. Jace, you got a piece of advice for our audience.
Yeah, start the podcast and then only talk about the podcast.
Only talk about the podcast. If you let them talk, that you lose. Mm-hmm. Ryan, you got a piece of advice for our audience.
Yeah, take up gardening.
Okay, interesting. What are you gardening? Like,
You meet a lot of people at the gardening stores.
Well, Ryan, let's talk about.
This isn't
some,
a kink episode, brother.
Yeah, this isn't a. Let's talk about things that'll seduce, and art of seduction type of stuff, like starting a podcast, lifting weights, perhaps not letting others talk. Yeah. Is there anything advice of that nature you can advise?
Yeah, really get good at transplanting
plants.
Grafting. Grafting is a big one. Grafting's not like a level 1
Okay,
thing.
Ryan. Listen, how about let's try things like all meat diets, all steak diets.
Oh, right, okay.
Not shitting for days
Okay,
because
so
of your all steak diet.
Food stuff, okay.
Yeah, food stuff. Okay, let's try again.
There's good sale on fruit trees at Home Depot, I saw.
Grow your own plants so that you can have salad with your steak.
Salad with your steak. Okay, I like this. I'm getting seduced, Ryan. This is really good.
Own a lake
Welcome
house.
Welcome to our podcast. Welcome to our podcast.
Daddy Duncan would have been just a good name to end at. You're right. You're right. I shouldn't have kept going.
God damn it. There's a delay on our fucking podcast. Folks at home, we talk over each other's jokes. We do funny bits like this on our podcast. Ryan, I mean, this was your pick. Do you want to introduce what we do here?
Oh, yeah. They told me I was going to do that.
Yeah. I was envisioning that was like halfway through the episode for some reason.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be a lot further along. But
the people need to know, I think, sooner.
And it's funny that you explained what you wanted out of me. And
it's okay.
Still. So we're a marathon podcast. We watch movies. We're a marathon podcast. We watch a bunch of movies in a row of the same subject or actor, and we see how they match up to the purported theme. So this season we're doing nothing but Seann William Scott movies, one of your favorite character actors that you don't know, or maybe you do and you just don't realize it. So this week we watched American Pie, closing it out, movie number 10, with kind of ironically his most famous movie. And it's the movie that keeps popping up in all the trivia and all the, oh, hey, that guy from American Pie, facts about him. So, yeah, we're going to see if this is maybe a worthy intro to Seann William Scott, or maybe he should have picked a different role for himself, to break onto the scene with.
Yeah, folks, we had to do this thing, all right? It's our duties as a podcast led us to do this, and it wasn't because Ryan wanted to see American Pie super bad. Let's not slander his character.
Right. And it sounds like you're saying that ironically, but
it is.
But that's literally,
that is like
if you watch the previous episode, we talk about why we chose this movie, and it's we are reluctantly watching this movie, knowing how bad.
I'm gonna take that back.
Oh,
Jay's gonna take it back.
We got a fan of the series.
I think
we're not gonna review it.
Jason, you might find a receptive audience for that argument.
Do you want to save it, Jason?
No review based.
Okay,
okay. I do finally now understand why people view him as Stifler, because again, not review based, but the volume was a bit higher than I was expecting.
Same.
That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, that's one of my notes. Yeah.
And this is also Sean's first movie, his first feature film debut. Have you guys done a little homework on like his previous roles? Have you guys seen of any Sean's commercial work or music video work?
Was he a buff dancer in like a boy band? Because he comes into this movie looking like a 25-year-old on trend, like, hey, what's up, guys?
Everyone in this movie was at least 30, I think, in high school. Seann was in an Aerosmith music video. He plays like a school bully. It is terrible. Not because of Seann. The music video is fucking terrible. I advise people to look it up whenever you have a chance. It's one of those cheesy 90s videos.
What song?
I don't... You can type in Aerosmith, Seann William Scott. It's going to be like the first result.
Imagine it's not. Imagine there's like
There's like 6 videos.
Articles.
Okay. The video's called Before They Were Stars. Aerosmith is my least favorite dad rock band. I think I've said that on the podcast before.
Multiple times. You've gone on about it, even when they're not relevant to the movie.
I do not like Aerosmith, and he is in this music video. He was also in a Sunny D commercial, and they were also great. But guys, since it's episode 10, I realized we haven't really brushed up on our Seann William Scott knowledge. We've talked a lot about his work in these movies, but I realized we don't know a whole lot about this guy. I mean, have you guys done any research under the hood and try to find out who he is? And that's okay if not.
Only his tattoos, because, well...
It's kind of cool. Kind of cool tats.
Yeah.
But folks, I have a Seann William Scott quiz ready for you two.
Oh, finally. It's been a while since a quiz.
It's been a while.
Because I
realized, well, listen, Ryan, I mean, you were kind of ahead for a while, but Jace had a hot streak during our Anne Hathaway season. And Jace, I think you're in the lead now with over 1 trillion points, I think, during our last quiz that we did. Ryan, let's see if you could make a comeback. But for now,
Did Kaimi give me all his points? I know he got a lot of points, I think.
Oh, that's right. I think he tried to, but didn't Ryan win that one when Kaimi came by? I think Ryan won by 1 point.
But then, because that one was rather fair, I think it might have been Ryan Ball that was trying to give you all his points.
That makes sense.
That was the one where you won 1,000,001 to 1,000,000. But this is our Seann William Scott special. Contestants, we're going to use... Do you guys want to go buzzer-based or turn-based?
Turn.
I like the idea of buzzer-based.
Okay.
All right. Buzzer-based. Jace, you won the last one.
So it would be... You'd have to give an answer... in a certain amount of time? Oh, are you giving multiple choice, though?
This is going to be multiple choice.
That's fine. Go ahead.
Okay. And here's another rule. If you buzz before I get through the first answer, before I get through A, you get double points.
Before you get through it? What if we understand that it's A? So
Okay.
Fine. A?
All right. If by this time I finish the question and I haven't said any of the answers, you buzz, you get double points.
That's what I like. This is
is
what I lobbied for.
All right.
And we got it.
Okay.
You know what podcast audio listeners love?
Yes. Rules.
In detailed rule explanations.
It's our only strength. Okay. Question 1 for our Seann William Scott quiz. Folks, he's an actor. You should check out his movies.
Buzz, true.
Yeah, it's right. Is that your answer?
Buzz, he was wrong. A, true. Is this like
It's a
Jeopardy?
fucking... Just let me say the goddamn question. You'll figure out what the format is. Before getting his first movie gig in American Pie, where did Seann William Scott work for his day job? A, a fishing boat. B, Build-A-Bear Workshop. C, a Burger King. Or D, Home Depot.
Buzz.
Ryan.
I want fishing boat.
Buzz? Or do I just get to answer?
I don't think you have to buzz now.
C, Burger King.
A Burger King. Yeah, you are both incorrect.
Buzz.
You can't rebuzz. You just
Home Depot.
lost.
Buzz. A.
It was Home Depot. You both get no points.
Why can't we rebuzz?
You can't rebuzz.
Is that on his LinkedIn?
I decided that. It is on his LinkedIn. That's where I learned it. He was also, as a little little extra thing, he worked at the LA Zoo for a while, and he was the churro guy. And he said he decided to quit because one of the apes threw a pine cone at him, and he saw it as a sign.
Huh.
Wow.
And he got American Pie right after he quit, which is amazing. So, folks, if an ape throws a pine cone at your head, maybe it's time to quit the zoo. Question 2, where was Seann William Scott born?
Buzz.
Ryan?
How detailed do you need?
You don't have to say the city.
Michigan.
Jace, do you want to answer? Or do you want to wait till the question? Till I say them. Say them.
You can go. I think he's going to get double points.
Ryan, that's incorrect.
What?
A, the great state of Minnesota, B, the less great state of Ohio, C, Toronto, Ontario, or D, Vancouver, BC?
A.
Jace, you get 1 point.
Minnesota.
Minnesota.
I knew it was M.I.
Fuck yeah.
I knew it was M.I.
You hear it in
Oh,
his
he's
voice.
like a Youper.
He's in Minnesota, though.
No, that's Michigan.
Boy, that is. Oh shit. See, I don't.
We could cut that part out.
Oh,
and
this
then-
movie was in Michigan. That's maybe what that was it.
Yeah, that's okay. Jace has 1 point. This next question is worth 30 points, and it is a true or false. True or false? Sean did not have his first relationship until he was 30 years old.
Buzz. True.
Okay.
Wait, does he get
Hey?
double points because you didn't read the possible answers?
If he gets it right, he gets double. Ryan, do you want to answer?
Which one's A and which one's B?
Did he? I said you can answer true or false. It's okay.
I'll answer false.
Okay, Jace, you do get 60 points here.
God dang it! These rules.
He did not have his first relationship until he was 30 years old. He often stated that he is the polar opposite of the loudmouth, free-spirited characters he usually plays, and he usually bases those characters off his classmates.
So he's just going around town banging.
He's not.
That's what that means.
No, Sean. Sean's a reserved guy. It's not drag his character. Nothing wrong with going around town banging, though. 4. When asked, Sean's mother said he was named after whom? A, actor Sean Penn.
Sean Legend.
B,
John Legend.
famous singer Sean Legend.
cousin.
B, Sean Connery. Sean Connery. C, Sean Cassidy, the actor / singer from the 70s. D, astronaut Sean Davids.
Buzz. I want Sean Connery. B.
Jace?
Buzz, I'll take C.
Ryan, you do get that one.
Woo!
Sean Connery.
I
Ryan
get
has
1 point.
1 point. Jace has 60. Sorry, Ryan. I forgot to give that one a point value. It defaults to 1.
Jace has like 62, I think, actually, right?
Okay.
61.
Okay, I should start evening this out. This next one, 70 points. All right. Okay. Question 5 for 70 points. All right. Just think really hard here. Okay. Sean considers which movie to be the worst he has ever done.
Buzz.
Fuck.
Okay, Ryan. This is a big Hail Mary.
It's got to be Stark Raving Mad.
Jace, do you want to answer?
Wait.
Or do you want to wait for the question?
No. Wait. Just I need a second to think.
Oh, I think that's a bad answer. No. Does he
For
get double
100
points?
If I answer right now, I get double points.
Yeah, he does. He does.
But,
If he answers right now. And if he gets it right, 140 points. That's a lot. That's a huge lead.
Go ahead and read them.
I'll read him. Okay.
I won't go for the double because I don't think.
Ryan,
I
I'll let you answer. I'll let you answer for these.
for half.
So you're telling me it's not.
So he got
Stark Raving
a
Mad?
potential for double points, but then
Okay,
he
all
doesn't
right,
get
fine.
penalized.
Okay, fine. He gets for half points. He can answer this one. All right, for 35 points.
But
Is
I
that
get to
fair,
answer
Ryan?
first because he buzzed
Yeah, you
already.
can answer first. You can answer.
Gosh, all these rules.
He
Where are
gets
these
to-
written?
He gets to double down. Well, you gave away your
agreed?
chance to answer the question when you buzzed in and answered Start Craving Mad.
A, American Pie. B, The Dukes of Hazzard. C, The Rundown. D, Stark Raving Mad.
Oh fuck. I actually think I'm gonna go with A.
Okay. Ryan, do you want to answer?
It's I'm gonna put all my eggs in one basket and get 105 points if I get Stark Raving Mad.
You're both incorrect. The Dukes of Hazzard is what he considers the worst movie he's ever done.
Wow.
I've seen that one a couple times.
That's weird. I thought it was gonna be like, dude, where's my car?
I did. Too.
I thought Final Destination. I think I was thinking that because he didn't, he got kind of edited out of it.
I could see that, but like his worst movie, I think. And then also, he also says Mr. Woodcock is the other worst movie he's ever made. Thankfully, 2 movies we've never seen. Somehow Stark Raving Mad didn't make the cut. Maybe he just didn't even want to mention that one and have people look it up.
He probably forgot about it.
Yeah, he's like, oh, fuck.
If you don't have to do
okay.
a press tour for a movie, do you really ever think about it again?
Okay, we have 2 more questions. I'm going to start weighting these a little harder. Give Ryan a little bit of a chance. This is worth 100 points, all right?
Wow.
Seann William Scott won the role of Carr with a K in Bulletproof Monk, after which well-known actor dropped out. You guys should play this safe. A, Ashton Kutcher. B, Heath Ledger. C, Topher Grace. Or D, Freddie Prinze Jr.
Buzz.
I think that was Ryan. That was really close. I think that was
I want
Ryan.
Heath Ledger.
Okay, Jace?
Buzz D. Buzz.
Freddie Prinze Jr.
Buzz.
Yes. What?
D.
You can't.
I'm gonna
the
lock
more you
in
press
D.
it's not gonna.
I want 500 points if it's D.
Okay. It is Heath Ledger. Ryan, you are correct. Which is surprising. Heath Ledger dropped out, which was a great decision by him.
Because he made Knight's Tale around that time, and it's like pretty physical.
Oh, it's a great fucking movie. Great fucking movie. Who's in the lead now? Is it Ryan?
I now have 100 points. I have 102 or something.
Ryan, you have 102. Jace has 62, I believe.
61. I don't think I've gotten a
61.
point since I got my 1 and then my 60.
Okay, all right. Well, to make it fair, this last one is worth 10 million points. Seann William Scott signs his autographs as what? A
Human.
Never mind. No.
When he signs his autographs, is it A, caw, Seann William Scott, B, looking good, Seann William Scott, C, God bless, Seann William Scott, or D, hope it was worth it, Seann William Scott?
I wanna buzz in.
Yeah.
I have to go for caw. I have to, because I've been the caw ambassador.
You have
the whole
you
season.
have. It is listed as his catchphrase in IMDb. Jace, do you want to answer?
I wanted that one too. What are the other ones?
It's probably God bless, dude.
Caw, looking good, God bless, hope it was worth it. You think he's a man of the cloth?
I'm gonna go with B, I guess.
Looking good?
Yeah.
The correct answer is God bless, Seann William Scott. Ryan, by default, I gotta give it to you.
Woo!
I don't know.
By default, I won by 40 points.
I should run this back on the edit and figure out who answered more correct questions.
Yeah.
I don't know, because I don't know. But listen, I don't make the rules. Ryan, you won. Congratulations. Well played. This is your season. I will say you had probably a little bit of an advantage. But yeah, hope you guys at home learned something about Seann William Scott today. God bless was not the one I expected him to write.
Totally.
I mean,
No,
it's a nice thing to
favorite.
say. It's
It's the favorite of people. You don't offend anybody, and some people would be offended if you didn't write it. So like,
right. Do you guys want to get into this? Are you guys ready to get into this?
I think so.
To this
yeah,
movie?
I don't have a lot to talk about. We just recorded 2 days ago.
I'm pretty tired.
Hey, listen, no peeks under the hood. All right.
I already
Our
told
audience-
Kaimi what we were doing.
We should have brought Kaimi back for this episode. He did say he watched
he's just
it
chilling at home.
recently. He's done nothing with his life since his the last episode.
No, I mean I just did a Discord call with him half hour ago, and he was just sitting at home.
So I'm doing nothing. Nothing's happening.
I'm not commenting on how thrilling his life is or not.
Kaimi, you're welcome back on when we review American Pie 2 for our second Seann William Scott season after next date of the podcast. Ryan, you got the synopsis, Doc. You just want to hit it?
Yeah. I don't know why I did that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I want to point out before I'm on the IMDb page.
Okay.
And it's number 267 on IMDb right now.
Okay.
Is that high or low?
That's really, I thought that would be really high.
Is it rankings?
It's
Is it like
24
rankings?
years old. Like popularity.
Oh, popular, like how popular it is?
How recently viewed and stuff,
Huh.
you know?
We are looking at 24 years since it came out.
That's weird. Okay, anyways, this week we watched 1999's American Pie. It's kind of a ensemble movie where you have a large number of characters and they all kind of have intermingled plot lines. And that's because they're all high school students. And they are, well, the main characters are all male. And they're, not like...
Jace, stop that.
Jace, they're alluding. They're not, let's say, like, super popular, but they're not, like, total, outcasts. And after a party one night at Stifler's house, which is our man, Seann William Scott, the cool guy, the four of the main characters make a pact that they have to lose their virginity by prom night at the end of this year, which is their senior year before they go to college. And our main character is Jim. He's played by Jason Biggs. And there's a few other guys that I don't really recognize. And then Seann William Scott plays the, I wouldn't say villain, but the antagonist of this movie in a lot of ways. And it's good. I guess we'll get into that. Is it good? I don't know.
I think starting this movie out with a scene where a high school boy is attempting to watch a Skinemax film and they filmed it and I'm bone smuggling It's one of the first lines. It's just like, I was like, there's going to have to be some really fucked up, troubling content in this movie for me to hate it.
This is our first movie that starts with jerking off since End of Evangelion, which is great. It's been a while since we had a jerk off intro.
Wow.
But before we get into that, I do want to get into the box office game with you guys because this movie was a runaway hit. Budget was $11 million, which is a pretty small budget movie, even for a comedy. This thing grossed $235 million over its run. Just an insane success. This was marketed as a total underdog. When it came out, it debuted #1 that weekend for July 9th, 1999. Can you guys guess #2 that weekend? This was an action comedy. We've mentioned this briefly on the show.
What month? Sorry, what month?
July. This is summer 1999. You're going to see a lot of bangers on here.
Deep Impact.
Not Deep Impact.
Independence
Action
Day.
comedy. You're getting closer, Jace.
That was going to be one of my. That's a good.
You're getting closer to a certain actor's hot streak. I'll give you a hint, and this may be too big of a hint. There was a certain music video at the end of this movie. It was a themed music video. What?
What?
There's a themed music video at the end of this movie.
Was it Jurassic Park?
It was not.
Do you remember in
Dinosaurs
Jurassic
rated
Park
from the sky.
when they have the Velociraptors playing,
No.
Guitar?
Yeah.
Holes has a music video at the end of it.
It's not Holes.
Yeah, so did every movie from 1998 to
Okay.
2008.
Okay. It's a themed music video that stars one of the main stars of this movie in a singing role. Like, he sings the whole song.
Wild Wild West.
That's correct, Jace. Wild Wild West
One of the
is
stars of this
Desperado.
movie?
Rough Riders. No, you don't want nada. Six gunning this, brother running this. Buffalo
Who's from this
soldier
movie?
is
Shocking
like I
amount of
told
this.
you.
Who from this
doesn't
movie is
matter.
in American Pie or is in Wild Wild West?
No, I said we've talked about this person. Jace
You said a main person from this movie.
No, I said
Independence Day.
from Independence Day.
Oh.
It was Will Smith.
Yeah.
In
Smith.
Wild
He's on a
Wild
hot
West.
streak. Wild Wild West.
Yeah, because he was
this is-
doing music at the time too, and it was hitting.
Yeah.
Like Miami.
And it was-
I listened to that
it's
song
amazing.
last night. So there's that.
As a side, Miami is one of the songs that when I was doing physical therapy after my brain injury, I had to walk in a line and then like bounce these balls. And my PT teacher had me like read the lyrics to Miami out loud in front of the whole PT area. And after I finished it, there was like 20 people in there. They all clapped. It was
And
really
Miami is the place where I come let go.
I was literally reading it like that, and it was like vestibular exercises, so I was really nauseous. So I was like, Miami, Viva la Miami. Anyways, #3 in the box office. This is a certain Adam Sandler comedy, 1999.
Billy Madison.
Not Billy Madison.
Happy Gilmore.
It's not Happy Gilmore. I used to get this one mixed up with Honey, I Blew Up the Kids.
What? Honey, I Shrunk the Kids?
That's the sequel. That's the sequel to Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
You used to get this movie confused
Yeah.
with Honey, I Blew Up the Kids.
Yes, I did. Okay, it's an Adam Sandler comedy.
Big
Cole
Daddy.
Sprouse is in it. Yes, it's Big Daddy. It's Big Daddy. I used to think this
I
was
don't
about
know
a
why
daddy
you would
who-
get that confused
Okay.
with Honey, I Blew Up the Kids because they both have to do with the word big, like getting big.
I saw the cover and I think it was about him literally being huge, and I've never seen it.
Oh.
I don't think it's about that, right? Like, okay, last one, #4. This is another huge one. This is a Disney movie that blew up that year.
I don't know. Lion King.
It's not Lion King. 99. Lion King was like 93.
I don't know.
Tarzan?
Tarzan. Jace, you got it.
Let's
Jace,
just
I
be
think
clear.
you
If
win
this
the
was a quiz,
box office game.
I'm kicking Ryan's ass right now.
Jace has been dominating the box office game the last couple episodes. I've been editing, and I'm realizing he's been on a weird streak. Just saying.
It is
watch
very
out, Ryan.
strange.
It's really
We're
weird.
watching
It's weirded me
shit
out.
movies. We're not watching like ones that I actually know anything about.
Let's be clear,
Wow.
too.
Yeah.
That lineup, can you imagine? I don't think we could
Unbelievable.
have a
Imagine
streak
that-
of that many
yeah.
good movies in the theater
Yeah.
in a year and in
Well,
the future. Right now.
If I could run through some of the other movies that are on here, you got The Matrix, The Mummy, Austin Powers, Spy Who Shagged Me, South Park, Star Wars: The Phantom Menace.
What? Was
This is
1999 the greatest movie,
insane.
greatest
Yeah.
year in movie history?
I think it is. It's so October Sky, which is another just great
Oh,
movie.
wow.
And what? These were all summer of 1999?
Yeah, this is the
I'm
greatest.
pitching that as
summer.
I'm pitching it as a theme.
5-year-old us were
We were
very
eating
spoiled.
good. Yeah, eating good. And also Tea with Mussolini came out. It's on this. It's number
Okay.
15. I don't know.
Uh-huh.
Ryan, when we rent, we share an Amazon account to rent this. Don't sue us, Jeff Bezos. I realize you rented the unrated version again.
I don't
Is that
think
the only one?
there's not an option to rate the
I
regular
just picked
one.
the movie, man, and then there was a big screen and it was like, warning, this movie has been edited to add stuff that wasn't, like, it's the opposite of the normal editing screen.
And there's like certain things they add. I like looked up what they added. Obviously, like the nude scenes are longer, but like this is the one where they actually show like the jizz in the beer. Like they actually had a longer cut. They couldn't show it in the rated R version.
Well, of
my
course not.
God. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Can we? I had
Yeah.
to
No,
pause.
I don't.
I had to
I don't know
pause the
if I wanna
movie.
talk
It's not
about
going to be
this.
visceral for me right now because I'm not seeing it.
Right. Yes.
For the people who haven't watched this movie, there's a
Yes.
lot of sexual. Two people are getting it on at a party. Guy jizzes in a cup, and he leaves it there. And the
Nothing
next,
wrong with that.
And the next 5 minutes are just like you're waiting for the payoff of there being semen in a cup, and they just keep making it take longer and longer.
Swiss is holding the cup
Yeah.
Yes.
and not
And he like
not
passes
drinking.
it and then passes
Passes
it
it
back.
back, passes it back. Wait, doesn't drink it, and you're just like every time it gets close to somebody's mouth, I'm like, and he drinks it. I had to pause. I almost threw up on my couch. I had to pause. I had to look away from the screen. I'd be like, oh, it's okay. And then I pushed play again, and I was like,
It was such a good bit because like they keep faking you out and it keeps building, and then finally he says one last thing where he's just like, "Let's do this," and he just slams it so hard. And as the audience, it's really good. I heard it was egg whites that they used in the scene to make it look like that. Which
it was so
really great.
yellow in the bottom.
So this movie was originally NC-17. I don't know if you guys saw. They had to take a bunch of stuff out, including for that scene, because one of the things they say is, "Hey Stifler, how's the pale ale?" after he slams it. And originally they said, "Hey Stifler, how's the man chowder?" And they had to cut that line out. The other thing that yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh, okay. I was just gonna say the other thing they had they had a couple things they cut out here, but the other thing that they had to cut out to make it not NC-17 was the pie scene. Apparently, in the original cut, Jim did 4 thrusts into the pastry, which was too many for an R, and they had to settle on 2 thrusts. They had to like actually bargain down so he can thrust the pie twice on camera.
I do want to get into the pie scene because that's the most famous scene from this movie. That's American Pie, the
got it from
pie
the
scene.
yeah, the title.
Everybody knows about it. I knew about it even though I hadn't seen the movie. But like going based on the first gross scene, which is the scene that we just described, I thought this movie was going to be way more like gross humor. And really it was kind of only that scene and the pie scene.
Yeah, I mean, I think compared to later, like sex comedies, I think
Right.
this kind of, started the foray, and then people tried to see like one up each other later. But you're right, Ryan, like they don't go too far into gross out territory. It's more about like what they're saying as opposed to like what they're doing or what you see on camera, right? And like this movie was originally called, it was like what, Eastern High or something? Like they didn't
kind of
settle.
like a Fast Times at Ridgemont High sort of vibe.
Yeah, and I think the screenwriter Adam Hers titled it "Untitled Teenage Sex Comedy That Can Be Made for Under 10 Million," which studio readers will likely hate, but I think you will love. He had that whole title when he pitched this script. And they're like, "Oh, 10 million to fuck yeah, let's fucking make it, man."
Which is kind of funny because one of the spoofs of this movie is literally called Not Another Teen Movie.
Oh, shoot. Was that a direct spoof of American Pie? I've never
It's
seen
American Pie and other ones too, where like teenage high school movies where the main character, it's kind of a 10 Things I Hate About You where the main character is like paid money to go out with a nerd or something.
it. Gotcha. But this movie, I mean, I guess the main character is Jason Biggs' character pretty much.
Yeah,
which,
I
even though
guess.
he doesn't have a lot of screen time, which I didn't really remember. But that opening scene, yeah,
I was gonna say they do a lot of service to every one of the characters. Like
they do.
We're getting for a sex comedy, and I think one of the things that might have made this successful is that they're like, listen, we're gonna pack a lot of character development into this shit, even if it's weird.
Yeah, because he's introduced as like a kid who's like overly horny, and then you have these parents characters who I think were playing this role so well. They play it so straight. And Eugene Levy, who I heard like improvised a bunch, where he's like, "Oh, what you got there, Jimmy?" Like the way he says all these lines, like every scene with him, I just love, and just how supportive he was too as a dad. Like,
Yeah, he's a bro. that dude is a fault. Like,
Yeah.
how his main goal is to make his son not feel so awkward.
He never like sex shames his son. He's like, listen, you're gonna do it safely. He even buys him like porno mags and is like clinically explaining the content, which was just like
He's like, this isn't easy. You know, I'm just trying to get through this.
And I think there was one other scene where he's waiting outside of Jim's room, like literally waiting for him to come out. And he comes out. He's like, "Oh, hey, Jim, just looking at the family portrait here. And listen, Jim," he just says this talk.
That was the one. He's like, listen, your uncle, he was spanking it 5 to 6 times a day. And the whole point of the conversation is he's like, you actually want to like have a partner, right?
Yeah, he played like concerned yet helpful father, I think, so well in this movie. That was like my intro to Eugene Levy, I think, with this movie. You also have, of course, the Stiffmeister in this movie. You have Seann William Scott. What was your guys' impression when he came on the screen?
I thought he was going to be worse. I thought it was going to be a, kind of pull your pants down in front of other people kind of villain, or I'm going to Mr. like quote unquote steal your girl kind of vibe. Mm-hmm. He only did a couple things that were like really bad, but he was almost part of the group.
Yeah, he was kind of the asshole friend that you tolerate. Like,
right. Yeah, which was interesting and was kind of like actually more realistic than a lot of movies that portray everybody in a friend group as, ride or die, friends till the end type of friends. And like, you have members that are kind of floating between friend groups all the time, and that's what he did. And I was really not expecting that.
Yeah, I agree. Like, I think they brought like the high school dynamics kind of in an accurate way. I don't know if I believed like all of the performances in this movie, but just the writing and the dynamics between the friends. Like, I was like, okay, I think a lot of people can see themselves in this movie if you were in a high school situation. Like Stifler's opening line is, "Yo, you coming to the party tonight, Ozzy, you fuckface." He just grabs it, and he like the way he yells it with his like spiked hair and his like sweater vest thing. I think it's such a big opening, and it kind of sets the tone, I think, for the rest of his career, where he's just coming in so loud, so 100% in his scenes. It's like he's doing push-ups before every fucking scene, and he comes in and he just screams his lines.
Yeah, I also like how quickly they would... The movie felt organically evolving, in that they would start making fun of people for doing things, and then that would turn into like a nickname.
Right.
Like, he kept calling Finch shit break because he started like running home when he had a period off or something to use the bathroom instead of
16-minute round trip.
Yeah, instead of using the school bathroom. And I was like, whoa, other people feel like that too? Like, if I'm at work and I have to go to the bathroom, I'll just take half a vacation day and go home.
Screw shitting in public toilets. Look, you got to do what you got to do, but nobody likes that. And I'm glad we had someone representing that in this movie.
Yeah, no, for real. And then but to turn that into kind of a minor plot point too was, I thought, really clever. They didn't just make this joke and then go on to the next character. That was a recurring thing, and it ended up being really like integral to that character's overall plot line.
Yeah. Stifler, or Seann William Scott, he got paid $8,000 for his role as Stifler, for his first role.
Wow. That's not bad.
I did the numbers. It's about $15,000 in today's dollars. Not a bad paycheck.
What is it in dollars per second of movie time,
I don't actually know, but like days are long.
I tried to look up how much airtime he had in this, and I couldn't find anything. People didn't understand what it was.
Honestly, like, he was in here a lot more than I expected, like Jace said. A lot of the side characters, like Ozzy's character, had a lot of screen time. You can almost say like he had like a larger arc than Jason Biggs' character.
I was pleasantly surprised, and I think now might be the time. As one, I think two things. I wasn't expecting lacrosse to be in this. And my brother plays lacrosse in college.
Oh.
And seeing Oz with his haircut and be like, that's my brother's haircut. I was like, we've come full circle. Holy shit. God. We're literally full circle. But for this movie, for what it is, for me to come in and have Oz as the character at the first party who is with a college girl, and his line to her at makeout point was, and you can bleep this or we can leave it, is me, beautiful. And she's like, what did you just say? And he's like, me, beautiful? And she's like, listen, you got a lot to learn, dude. You need to listen to women. And that's in the first like 10 minutes of the movie. and he takes it to heart. And he like, and you think that he's like doing a bit. And I thought the whole movie he was gonna end. He was gonna be like, ah! But he like, he joins the choir, like a choir group type thing, and it's initially like, this is untapped resources. Look, there are women here. He finds a new hobby that he loves. He finds like a girl that he cares about, and he skips his final lacrosse game of the season to go sing as a duo partner with her. And it was just like, I was like,
A lot of character growth.
Yeah.
A surprising amount of not only character depth, but character growth by everybody.
Yeah, Ozzy's arc is a nice antidote to like that weird incel pact they made in the beginning of the movie, where they're like, we're all gonna get laid by the end of the year. And you're just like, oh God, Jesus Christ. And like Ozzy's whole arc, like Jay said, he's taking up hobbies, he's finding interest in his life, he's learning to communicate. And then at the end, he doesn't even like fulfill the quote unquote pact. He just doesn't even really care.
I think
he's
they
like,
do.
Guys,
I think it's implied. They were taking
Didn't he
clothes
say-
off each other on the dock.
didn't he say he didn't do it?
He said
really?
it. He said at some point they never did the whole thing, and he said that he doesn't care.
Yeah.
I missed that.
And even Jim's character at the end was like, guys, like why are we putting this weird pressure on ourselves to do this? Like maybe this isn't like a good way to approach
Can we
things.
talk about what I thought was the best character in this movie was Allison Hannigan's character. This girl
Michelle,
who's
yeah.
shut out of all the parties and stuff because she's in band. Okay. And she's a nerd. Stifler doesn't even let her into the party at the beginning of the movie. And then throughout the movie, eventually, Jim, the main character, strikes out with so many women that he ends up like asking her to prom. The girl that nobody else wants to go to prom with. And throughout the rest of the movie, she's annoying the shit out of him by always talking about all the cool things they do at band camp. It's like this one time at band camp. Oh, this one time at band camp. And tells these like really boring stories. And then we get to the end of the movie where he's trying to fulfill the pact with his date at Stifler's party. Stifler's also going to throw a party after prom. And that's when everybody's going to try and seal the deal. And it turns out the whole movie, she's been playing him. And she is like super experienced and wanted to get laid and picked him because she knew it was a sure thing. And so she's been acting innocent. And really at band camp, like all those stories would have been super, super raunchy if she actually told the truth.
Right.
I thought that was hilarious. Because like her and actually Tara Reid's character like showed a very healthy way. I thought like a gender balanced way of approaching this movie. And that was so unexpected that we'd have two female characters we have one who's like, playing the young men. And then we have one who's like in a committed relationship, who's trying to take things slowly and all that kind of stuff and looking for love. And that was really cool.
Yeah, I think it was like at least a good faith attempt just to try to like remedy some of this toxicity. Like for 1999, I think this was pretty progressive.
I agree.
Of course, like we do have to caveat, like we're three guys talking about gender stuff, so we're gonna be a little like
there's a lot of problems in this movie. There's potentially like one extreme problem, and I don't think it makes up for it. I probably wouldn't recommend people watch this movie.
But for sure.
I thought her character, Allison Hannigan's character, was hilarious when she was like, they're finally like fooling around at the party, and she holds him down and says, "Say my name, bitch." It's so funny.
Yeah, her like flip in there was good. Yeah, but like what I was saying, it's like we're gonna be talking about like obviously like sexual dynamics and gender dynamics. Like we're only like one part of that puzzle. We're just like three cis straight dudes. Like we're gonna not nail all of this.
Oh no.
So yeah, but like you're totally right. I had this similar reaction to this. I was like, oh, this movie isn't quite as toxic as I remembered, even if it did have problems. But I'm like, there was at least an attempt here made to like, I think, try to show young men who are going to watch this movie, like, this is how you have healthier relationships, and maybe having this like get laid mindset maybe isn't like super good.
I did not expect that to be the theme. That to be the underlying lesson. I thought it was going to be more of like oh yeah, awesome, let's make a bunch of these movies over and over and over because this is hilarious.
Right. A lot of the movie, I think in the first half, I was like, this is like Incel the movie. Because so much of it is this is the tactics you use. This is how you like fucking trick people. And I was like, oh no, Jesus, please no. And I think each of the characters, even Kev, who has like a weird relationship with his girlfriend where he's still like trying to push her to have sex. I think each of them individually start finding out that like that's not the way to go. At least to me, it seems that way. And I thought that was kind of refreshing. And by the end, I wasn't as icked as I expected to be.
Do you guys think we would have had the same takeaway if we watched this in high school?
I think we were doing essentially what they were doing.
Right, yeah,
Every
but, like,
high school boy is like, sex.
I agree, but do
There's
you
some
think,
funny things that people aren't, well, you know, like the...
Yeah, I don't know how we're going to talk about that scene either. But my point is like, do you think we would have come into this saying, oh, the movie actually is saying that this is unhealthy if we watched this when we were 17?
So I did watch this when I was pretty young, like because
Okay.
I watched this in middle school and in high school because it was on FX. Like I would watch it all the time. I watched a lot of FX. I think I've said that every episode. But like
They got the movies.
They got the movies. What can I say? It's hard to know like what I would have internalized as a teenager, right? Because I mean, we're still kind of developing our frontal lobes, and who knows like if it was an explicit understanding of like the messaging of this movie. But I think there's probably some part of me that kind of watched this and was like, okay, this is probably a way to think about things. This is how you have a healthier relationship or healthier relationship with sex, I guess. But I don't know if you asked me point blank at age 17, like what this movie was about, I'd probably be like, oh, it's about fucking, oh, he jizzed in a cup and oh, it's fucking, you know.
I think the thing that's like that you have to unpack there is that we're so far removed from being in a group of people that are like sexually pressured by so many outside forces. Like, you gotta have sex, you gotta not be a virgin, you gotta da-da-da-da-da. That like it could have a completely different meaning based on whether you were or were not a virgin. Like,
Yeah, totally.
because for a lot of people, they're like, oh, I'm gonna have sex. They do it, and then it's like, oh man, shit, that wasn't a big deal. Fuck.
Yeah.
And like this whole movie is based on that premise, I think, is really
Yeah.
about it.
I think so. And I think it reflects well, especially even though this was 1999 and we were in high school in like the 2010s, late 2000s. Like, I do think for as problematic as a lot of those conversations they were having about sex and gender and relationships, like that wasn't honestly too different from the conversations that like guys would realistically have in high school, at least when we were in high school. Because we were fucking meatheads back
Yeah,
then. Like,
I think
it's
the-
worst. Yeah.
Look at Superbad. So Superbad
Yeah.
is made 10 years after this movie.
It's our
Same basic
this movie.
Yeah.
Same
Yeah,
basic
exactly.
premise. And man, I talked like that. Like we said that Superbad holds the record for the most F-bombs in a movie.
Really?
And I think so. At least at the time it did. And we talk like that. It's the same premise. We were all going away to college. And I think more than like these movies appealing to teenagers, it's just like there's something about public high school teenage males that just, this is how they are. And if overall they're not hurting anybody, it's like a really interesting thing to show on TV. It's like, in some respects, you're laughing at them because what they're doing is so stupid. And like, Julie has a hard time with these movies because her high school experience was so much different, right? And now I watch these movies and I'm like, wow, I was a dumbass.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not thinking like, oh, I was so funny when I was in high school. That was so much fun. That was my golden days. I wish I could go back. Like,
Right.
yeah. So I think for the most part, these movies, the ones that are done well, and unfortunately, I would put this one almost in that category. Like, I think for the adults that watch, it comes off as, yeah, teenagers are freaking weird, man. But you know what? That's just kind of a common American experience.
Yeah, I agree, Ryan. Like, this is written by an adult kind of looking back at like how
it's written by
like,
an adult.
Yeah, look how crazy they were as a teenager. But watching it as a teenager, I'm like, there is a question of like, is there glorification or reinforcement in these
Totally.
behaviors? Because I
And
remember watching Superbad or this movie and being like, oh, that's so funny. Like, I want to be like that, you know? And there was an aspect of that there watching those movies.
You
Yeah,
know,
I
we
think that's the
do
difference.
you should point out that the writer of this movie was born in 72. They could have written this when they were 23. And that's closer to high school age than
That's
we
true.
are. So that's kind of, I don't know that I would necessarily agree with like it was an adult writing this movie. You
Well,
know?
and Jace, to further back up your own point, Superbad was written by Seth Rogen and Evan Goldberg when they were like in high school too. So.
Right. Yeah, they're really young. But I do think the point stands, like when you look back, at least at the teen years, you are looking at with like some level of cringe and knowing and recognition that's not right. And like if you ever want to look back at yourself like that, look at your old Facebook posts from high school.
No, thank you. Deleted.
Because I've gone through and purged. Because like I was like, Jesus Christ, I was broadcasting these fucking views and words to the whole world back then. I can't even imagine what I was like one-on-one with people.
I had this thing, this meme on Instagram. It's like there's no one in the world you had less in common with than 16-year-old Facebook posts from yourself.
God. And right now it's like the 10th anniversary of a lot of Facebook posts I was making, or 12-year anniversaries, and it would pop up on my feed. And I was like, how did anyone just fucking stand to be around me?
My parents should have slapped me.
Our parents weren't on the Facebook yet. Or
Yeah,
if they
that's
were,
the
we were hiding our
difference,
shit
yeah.
from them. Two things, I made some notes of that, and I like, I guess two kind of parallels that I want to draw for like the cringiness of it is like somebody who's really nervous walking up at the first party, Jim walking up to Nadia, and like walking up and going, ha, 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 good one, even though he wasn't in the conversation. And I was like, ha.
Holy shit.
Jace has done that move.
I was like, oh, that hurt. And then two, we were talking about like Kevin walking down the stairs and be like, I just want to get laid. And his girlfriend hearing it, it's like the slipping out of like, oh, I probably know this is wrong to say. I'm gonna say it right now. And then you're like, oh fuck, I said it in the exact wrong time for it to be. So it's kind of like it's I think beyond the like one scene, a lot of this felt like content that is still not okay, and we're still like evolving or like aging out of. I would say we're aging, primarily our group, we're aging out of, that we still would have used in high school. That like there's so much boy talk. Maybe the humor in this movie is like the boy
Locker
talk.
room talk.
Yeah, which is like we've talked about. It's pretty toxic. I
agree, Jace. And like this wasn't as toxic as I think I was remembering. But it's still not great if you see people see this movie. I do want to mention like briefly the pie scene in this movie again. I don't know if you guys remember, like, have you guys seen the theatrical cut of this movie?
So this is my question, because
Okay,
maybe I've seen the theatrical cut of this scene.
Yeah.
I thought he was standing up.
He was standing up. He was doing the pie doggy style.
I had a
in the
Mandela
theatrical.
effect moment.
Yeah,
I laughed so freaking hard when they cut to him, and he's on the he's laying on the island, like humping into the pie that's sitting on the counter.
Missionary style, yeah.
Because I thought I thought it was going to cut to him and he was going to be standing up in the corner.
So, yeah, theatrical cut. They decided, because all the thrusts, they were going to get the NC-17s. They were like, okay, Jim, fuck the pie standing up, just facing the camera, and it's less vulgar somehow. And that was, like, Ryan, you remember correctly. And apparently the actor Jason Biggs, before that scene, he was like all ready to do it. He had like a crisis of confidence. Like he was like, holy fuck. And he called his manager and he's like, am I about to ruin my career before it even starts? Holy shit. Should I even do this?
Yeah.
And his manager told him, quote, Jason, you go and fuck that pie with all you got, man.
That could be, if this movie wasn't successful, that would have been the worst advice ever given to an actor. That's so bad.
And the rest is history. And apparently, one of the producers tried to see if they can get Jim to have sex with an actual McDonald's apple pie. And after an awkward call with McDonald's representatives, they declined, and they had to use a Costco apple pie. So that is a Costco pie in the movie. They still sell those. Pretty good pies, actually, too.
I've never had one.
There's a lot of side characters in this movie. There's the Shermanator, a sophisticated sex robot sent back in time, which I remember from initially watching this. I think my parents rented this from Blockbuster in like 2000, and I remember like peeking through my bedroom door watching them watch it. And I specifically remember Sherman pissing his pants and my mom going, oh God, during that scene, which I think was really funny. And then of course, Finch, who I actually really like in this movie. I think he's a funny character. Like, he's like that high schooler who wears blazers and just drinking like fucking mochachinos and playing mini golf. Like, I think we all knew like weird high schoolers who did that.
Definitely.
Casey Affleck cameo in this movie.
Yeah, that was pretty funny. So I want to talk about Casey's role. He's the older brother, right?
Yeah.
And what kind of reminded me of the idea of this trying to be like a universal high school experience is that one guy calls his older brother and says, hey, can you give me some advice with these women? Kind of about crude stuff. But like,
Yeah.
And Casey is like, all right, so go to the library and you'll find, go to this one section and you'll find the sex diary how-to manual hidden underneath the floorboards. And it's like a guidebook from previous generations of high school students. And I thought that concept was totally out of left field for me, and I didn't see that coming at all. I thought that was hilarious.
Casey Affleck, I also think like his scene was funny because like he's supposed to be like this suave dude, but he looks like a 12-year-old sitting at a bar.
Yeah.
And he's stuck. He's like, yeah, man, so this is what you got to do. Oh, that'd be one sushi roll, please. Like the way he's talking. He looks so young to me in that scene. But I thought that was a cool cameo.
I don't remember that scene. I
was
think
like-
I might have looked down
Yeah.
and looked up, and he was finding the book, and I just noted
Okay.
that it was under the fluid dynamics section.
Yeah.
Which
so
was
he
like,
calls,
they're not in a high school library.
yeah, he calls his older brother, and his older brother's sitting at like a conveyor belt sushi restaurant or something like that, and like having this phone conversation with the other guy, like in public, full volume, and like all the people around him are confused about who he's talking to for which part of the conversation, and it's kind of a funny little who's on first mix up.
Can we talk about the music in this movie? So many 2000s like spring break fucking bangers. You got like Sum 41, Blink 182, who's in this movie.
So I forgot. I didn't even
Yeah.
find them until I was on IMDb and Travis Barker was credited.
Were they the
Right.
with
And
the
then,
monkey?
and then I Googled it.
Yeah, they were the monkey.
Yeah.
Because they were the actual band playing, and then they like come up to the screen.
That's so funny. I gotta tell Julie
in the
about
scene that shall not be named.
I think we should name it.
We should. Okay,
It's
well,
not
We need to
chill.
have some sort of disclaimer.
Okay.
Yeah.
We probably should. You're right.
Who wants to tackle this beast?
I mean, I could
can.
say it. All right, Jace, you want to say
Either.
it?
Well, yeah. I think let's say now, this is the thing that's going to bring the numbers down for me. The biggest ick. And I think one of the things that could be, I don't really understand what was essentially going on the internet in 1999. And we've got 20 plus years worth of internet and how the internet is used type of situations to really, really give us an opinion on the scene. But the biggest ick of this movie and the major, major bad wrong is that they use a webcam to unknowingly film one of the female characters who was supposed to just be changing. And then it evolves into the unrated scene of her finding his Jim's nudie mags. And then the running joke being that Jim was going to send the AOL uplink to 3 of his friends and instead sends it out to everybody at the school. And this is one of the real, I think, only major times in this movie where it's like it was entirely non-consensual, and then they tried to play it off with, she didn't know.
No, like she did not like
their
consent
way
to
of
be
playing it off
Yeah.
was trying to say that she was into him too.
She's into it at the end. And it wasn't okay.
Yeah,
Not
like
okay at all.
I just could not believe their justification too. Like when Stifler's like, of course Stifler brings up the idea, and the other character's like, well, he's right, and I'm like, no, he's not fucking right. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
It was just shockingly bad, but it's like unfortunately like one of the most memorable moments I think in the movie too.
It
like
sticks
where
out
Jim's
to me
doing-
just because
Yeah.
like it made me not want to watch the rest of it, and maybe take my phone out and like do something else and like scroll through.
It's really long
something
too.
random.
It's like a long.
It's way
it's
too
not
long.
Like it's not like they didn't play it straight like I thought they were going to. Where it was like this character is coming from dance practice. They're gonna change. So I thought the bit was gonna be he runs over to his friend's house. They see her change. It's done. He runs back.
misses it.
And then it like continues and continues and continues.
The problem with the scene too is that like it's so overwhelming. You can't just go like click, 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 click and skip it.
Yeah.
And it's so bad and not okay that it would essentially prevent me from recommending this movie or watching it with a group of people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, no, we can't watch that. No, it's not okay. And that's why I'm confused about the success of this movie and why it got so many sequels, yet it has something like this. And I wonder what the reaction was at that time, because it kind of doesn't mesh with it being such a successful movie.
Yeah, it makes you wonder about the perspectives of consent in 1999. If
Right.
this passed every fucking level of the writing process, made it into the movie, and then like audiences loved it, it's like what were the dynamics at that time? And it doesn't paint a really optimistic picture to me about like what people's views are.
It almost, I don't want to say like speak for 1999. It's almost like because of the internet, like the burgeoning technology.
I think it was an internet joke.
I think it was like, aha, this probably won't happen, but we've got an AOL chat room and this is crazy use of it. And then it's like, now we're like, yeah, that's really possible. In fact, when you stay at Airbnbs, you should take something to like check for small
Jesus
cameras
Christ.
because people do that.
Yeah, looking back, it's just like, holy fuck, when you see scenes like that. Kind of as the movie progresses, I think we kind of talked about it, like prom night's approaching. They have the big like party at Stifler's house. And then there's the scene with Jennifer Coolidge, like great character actor Jennifer Coolidge, who I forgot was in this movie.
Yes,
like, this
and
is
then
where I know
she
her
showed
from.
up in that. She showed up kind of as a reveal. So
Yeah.
the guy with no date, was it Finch?
Yeah, Finch.
He goes into a part of the lake house where the party is. And at this point, we think Stifler's parents or mom is at least like gone, not there. And he walks into a section of the house that is cordoned off and it says, "Please do not enter." And it's kind of this like bar. It's got a pool table. It's kind of like a den, right? And the reveal is that Stifler's mom is in there. It's like a cut. And she's like just standing there in the corner. And that was so funny. And I immediately knew where it was going. Because because everybody kind of has like a match. Everybody in the crew has a match. So I was wondering what this guy's match would end up being. And I totally spaced on it. And I like that it was a joke at in like one of the first scenes was about how they thought his mom was hot. And then it kind of bookends the movie perfectly.
This two things here. I think this movie like sprung the word MILF into popularity.
That was going to be a question of mine.
So I researched it, Jace, because I thought so too. This was the first movie where I heard that line. And of course, it's like mainstream. It's a whole porn category now. Contrary to popular belief, it says this in the trivia, this film didn't actually originate the term. A 1995 Usenet post initially used the acronym, predating the movie by 4 years. However, it's credited for popularizing
Making it popular.
the term.
Okay, yeah.
Because I thought maybe John Cho was like ad-libbing. And they were like, that is so good. I was like, is John Cho the father of the MILF?
No, it was a different guy, and the guy is actually credited as MILF Guy in the movie. Who says the
you're
line.
saying the guy? No, you're not saying
Justin Isfeld is the MILF guy. The one he says MILF, and John Cho's like, yeah, MILF.
Oh, okay. I thought you misunderstood my point, but like, yeah.
Oh, okay.
So I think the lead up to that scene, and I think another throwout line, but also a payoff there, is that that Jessica, who was played by Natasha Lyonne.
Oh, right, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Who wasn't expecting to be, I was not expecting her to be in this. And then I think she's had quite a few, like, really Russian Doll was super popular.
Yeah, she's a great actress.
Yeah. At some point, she's like, oh, Finch paid me $200 to tell people that I'd slept with him and a bunch of all these things. And one of the throwaway characters is like, I heard he had an affair with an older woman. And then you get to the end and it's just full circle. And him and
I think the affair was supposed to be Stifler's mom.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought Natasha Lyonne, I thought she was like around our age for some reason. So seeing her in this movie, I was like, wait, what the fuck? Like, it was like she was a time traveler. Like, I think my brain thought she was a time traveler before.
She always sticks out.
Yeah.
She's like this weird character who can play whatever she wants, but like every time you see her and something, you're like, that's Natasha Lyonne.
I know. I don't know why. It's like, she just has like a very distinct way of acting.
Yeah.
She's one of those characters like, towards the end of this movie, there's a scene that I really liked. They're all in that hot dog shop after Stifler's party, and they're all kind of talking about how this is like the moment that matters more than I think the rest of the movie, where they're like, we're just hanging out. We should just be able to enjoy getting hot dogs together because everything's going to change after this. We're all going to go to like the real world. And that kind of like hits, you know, it kind of makes you think about like the times where you just have all this time to hang out with your friends with no strings attached. Like you're just hanging out. There's no like, oh, we should get together and schedule this. And like, you're just hanging out. It's no fucking big deal. That's something that's like really lost in adult life. And watching these teen comedies and seeing this, I was like, fuck, man, you know?
Yeah, unadulterated, no scheduling, no like... It was going straight into high school to college. If you get that experience in college, is fucking insane. You're like, I can skip all my classes and play Xbox with my friends if I want to all day. And it's like, that goes away. It's pretty much as soon as you get a 40-hour job.
Capitalism is an isolating force. Resistance is community.
What?
Don't fucking question him.
Don't fucking question me. Quit your jobs. Hang out with your friends.
Oh,
bring down the war machine.
Yeah, let's get into the
meters.
meters. Let's get the meters. The Shanometer, Ryan, you want to explain?
Yeah, so we're gonna give you. I could say every episode, but for your new listeners who are weirdos and decide to watch only this episode,
you freaks.
We have 2 different meters. The first one is gonna rate Seann William Scott. Essentially, how typical is his performance? Is he going into his typecast? Is he branching out? Is this like, were we disappointed with the way that he went with his character because you were expecting a certain amount of Sean in it? And now our meters are probably a lot different than they were in the first episode, because in the first episode we were kind of guessing or remembering from the past what we expected Sean was going to be like. And then we're going to give our movie meter, which is our normal movie meter, how we liked it. Is it a stinker or a floater?
If it floats, it doesn't stink.
What if it's floating vertically? It's like just a little bit out of the water.
Ryan, is that you first on the Shanometer?
I guess it's going to be me because it's my pick. The interesting thing about Sean is that we've been doing this all season is that he's not a leading man, which is kind of the ironic reason why I pitched him this season. And he's usually someone who's maybe in the top 5 build, always in the top 5 build, but he's on the cover. Not the main character, but he's like a driving force behind the scenes. And this being his most famous role and him being kind of typecast after this role is kind of telling, because I'm going to give him a 10. This is a full, we got a full Sean experience. I don't know of another actor who kind of is like this. Maybe Matthew McConaughey in Dazed and Confused. It's kind of similar, right? He's not the main character. He's the person kind of throwing the parties and stuff. And then people see him and like, whoa, this guy's really got it. And I think that's kind of his character here did everything but caw-caw. And I can't hold that against him too much. I'm going to have to go with a 10 because he was kind of low-key the funniest part of this movie.
They hadn't been invented yet. You know.
Caw-caw.
The caw-caw.
Yeah, which exactly. There you go. That's the explanation, is that he hadn't had the chance to do
legally you can't dock him the point, you know.
We didn't have the technology at the time. Yeah, right. I mean, one thing for me, they did not say the words American Pie. They said pie. I don't think they said American at any point in this movie, so I can't give him
They did have that other throwaway line that was like a teenage sex movie that
they said that'll cost less than $10 million.
Doesn't that go into your movie meter?
I mean, it's my Shanometer, but I mean, for me, for Sean in this movie, I actually didn't really like his character as much as I would have remembered. Not just because of like the problematic aspects, but that does play a huge fucking role. But also, like, I don't know if I was really like laughing along with him or at him as much as I would have with his other roles. I don't really know if he like stole scenes for me, at least. I don't think I actually necessarily liked any of his scenes either. There were some points where he was just kind of like annoying for me, and I don't know if that's because I've seen him in other roles. I've seen him doing elements of this better, and then coming back to the source, maybe it's not as fresh or as interesting for me. But yeah, like one big thing that I judge Sean on is even if he's not the main part, is he the best part for me? And I don't necessarily think he was the best part or the best character in this movie. I think I enjoyed other ones a little more. There was parts where I think he was a little funny, but mostly I just like fucking did not like this dude. He just reminded me of just like some asshole you would meet in high school, but I can see why it stuck out in people's head. This guy has a name, Stiffmeister or Stifler. Like, you're gonna remember that. He's a very big character. I think he played it well, but for me, it wasn't hitting personally. I'm gonna give him a 7 here on the Shinometer for me. I think there are better. I can't believe I'm saying this. I think there's better Seann roles out there than the Stiffmeister. Yeah,
I think that's fair. I think it's weird to say that it was effective that he was an asshole that you didn't like, so you take points away. Because right, you know,
that's true.
Like,
I didn't like him. It's part of my meter. I gotta like him.
See, that's fair. That does make sense. The source of the spring is here, like you said. This is the source of Swiss.
It doth be here.
We have found it. I was thinking a 10, and then I think you're kind of right. Like, if I would have to say that I preferred him in this as much as I did in Mac Day. And I really like how he acted in Mac Day, because there was like some patches of American Pie Swiss, but it wasn't, like you said, he wasn't being an asshole, which I found to be effective. But I think I think this is the hardest rate of the season for me.
I know. This is a tough one.
Because there were times when I wasn't laughing, but there were times when he was being a total jagoff that I was just rolling. I think I'll go with a 9. I think he developed his comedic ability and his presentation and craziness over the next few films. It feels like a cop out. Fuck.
No,
Hey,
listen,
it's
I
fair.
agree.
Make me look like a total idiot when we look at the graph.
Ryan wants to be Stifler. Ryan, what do you think about the movie? What the movie meter?
Now, this is going to be difficult. What I actually think about the movie, how am I giving the movie a subjective/objective score? I have no clue, right? On one hand, it was really funny. On the other hand, there's parts that would prevent me from recommending it to anybody. But overall, if I'm being honest, I'm going to probably give it a 5. Because if you took out all the parts I fucking hated, I would give it like a 7 or an 8. And part of the problem of this movie is that Superbad is one of my favorite movies. And Superbad does pretty much everything right. There's a couple scenes that are not great, but it's a lot better at doing this. And then my favorite comedy movie actually is Wet Hot American Summer, which is a spoof of teen movies. And also think not another teen movie is better than this. So how can I take the fact that there's 4 movies or so that I can identify that are better than this, and then say, oh, it's like a 7 or an 8. So I think 5 is more than fair. There's a couple lines that made me just roll. Like the random line was like, hey, you smell like a Yeti.
You gotta take a shit. You smell like a Yeti. That's my third note.
And then later in the movie, they say it again. It's like, hey, I'm that Yeti. And there's a throwaway line in a Mac Miller song where he says, I'm that Yeti, ad-libbed in the background.
Oh my
It's
God.
the intro track to Faces. And I made one of my like anonymous usernames on like a couple video games, I'm that Yeti, like from that song. And so like that, I was like, what did Mac Miller get it from this? Like,
He might have, yeah.
Things like that kind of vibe with me. The sex manual is hilarious. And I also want to point out, and me and him had this conversation off mic, but my tolerance for a daytime movie is different than my tolerance for a nighttime movie. And that if I watch a movie in the afternoon, I'm more accepting of a shitty movie because I didn't like reserve my whole night for it. And I'm probably doing something like I was folding laundry while I was doing this. So if I like 7 o'clock at night on a Saturday, I got a drink. I convinced Julie to sit down and watch this movie with me, and this is what we're doing. We're not going out. We're watching a movie, and it turned out to be this. I probably would rate it like a 3 or 2. So I'm going to go with a 5 after all that. But there's much other better movies than this. So watch something else. Don't watch this movie, please. And don't watch it with a group of people. If you watch it, you have to watch it by yourself.
Ryan, your daytime movie comment is kind of like blowing my mind because I'm like trying to think about this because the 3 of us watched this right before we recorded during the day. And I'm trying to think about like if I did the same thing. I'm like, hey Amber, let's watch this American classic, American Pie. It's Saturday night. This is what we're doing. This is what we're going to be doing with our time. I think I'd be mad. Like, I think I would have been a lot more mad.
And imagine if you paid the full $4 to rent it.
Oh man. Sorry, Jeff, we're splitting it. Yeah, this movie is kind of like role models for me, where it's like, yeah, I laughed and enjoyed some of the heart that was, I think, like legitimate in this movie, but there were glaring, concerning problems in it that I think negate a lot of stuff. I don't think Role Models was actually had the same problems, but in this movie, there were, like, we already talked about kind of the webcam scene that was just like big ick. Like, there were other views that were kind of represented in this movie that were problematic. And like, I kind of talked earlier about glorifying or reinforcing some of these shitty, like, boys will be boys types of attitudes that I think did kind of do some harm. Like, I think I did probably internalize some of these shitty attitudes in middle school and high school that kind of led me to being just kind of an asshole, like a lot of, like, you know, kids our age. So I think, like, there needs to be movies or at least some kind of media that kind of counteracts this a little better. I don't think it kind of stuck the landing at the end, unless you're like an adult who can kind of look back and kind of realize this. One of the kind of my metrics I said in like previous episodes is like, does this movie leave the world kind of a worse place? I maybe a little bit here in some respects, because I think this movie signed off on some behaviors that I think people just kind of carried forward, and you're relying on other things to kind of undo those lessons, and some people just never learned them. So I think that movie has those problems. With that said, sitting in front of it, watching it, yeah, no, I do think it aged a lot better than I expected it to. Oh, fuck, man. I'm struggling with a number here because of that. I can see why it got sequels. I can see why people wanted to talk about it, because I enjoyed talking about it with you guys. You know, I think I'm also going to give it a 5 for that reason. I'm not going to recommend this movie for people to see. I'm glad Amber wanted to skip this, because she was like, oh, does it go well? I want to see a nostalgic comedy. And I don't know if this is one. So yeah, I think 5 is a very merciful score for this movie. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah, I think you're both right on target, and we're feeling about the same kind of way. My gut feeling was a 6. I think that's what I'm gonna end up giving it. And I mean, we just took away, like, some of the throwaway lines in this movie, just in the background, are really fucking funny. I think the writers had like. I think they were on it for quite a bit of this.
Yeah.
I think, like, if any of it was ad-libbed or improv, they were killing it. I'm of the opinion that I think the actors had really good chemistry together for most of the scenes, and they were acting like douchebag, idiot high schoolers that were virgins and were way too pressured about losing their virginity before high school ends. It's honestly pretty believable for me.
Yeah.
Like, we lived that. And I think the funniest thing that I'm now seeing is I pulled up a thread from Reddit about American Pie, and the person was just absolutely shitting on it. And the top comment is, if you don't think fucking a pie is funny, I don't know what to tell you. And it's just like, okay, yeah, that's a fair point.
Fair.
I think this movie was probably very effective, worked really well, like we said, because it made a lot of money in 1999. And
Yeah.
It doesn't hold up because technology and perception has really come a long way. And a lot of things about what I consider the worst scene are, like, really, really cringy bad. And I think I would agree with you, and probably not telling anybody to watch this.
Yeah. Totally. I think we're kind of on the same page here. It's like we enjoyed it with caveats. I really wish we fucking brought Kaimi on. I think I recall him saying it was a perfect movie, no notes, during our Stark Raving Mad episode. So
Full endorsement.
Listen,
Watch as soon as possible.
listen back to that episode if you want to hear his opinion. I think
Kaimi said, you don't even have to watch it. Before you watch it, you can tell everybody it's your favorite movie and you love every part of it.
when we review the other American Pies for our Jason Biggs season, I'm down. I will say, like, the sequels, Allison Hannigan plays a lot bigger role. I was surprised by how little she was in this first movie. There's a lot more gags. I don't know, they're fun.
Yeah, I kind of want to watch a sequel.
Yeah, you probably see the sequels. We can do. Would that be a good emergency episode? I don't know. Would that be sending the wrong message?
That would be.
I think so.
We'll see how this one does, and if it blows up, then we could maybe talk about it. But folks, we've reached the end of our Seann Road. We didn't really mention it, but this is the last Seann William Scott movie of the season. 10 movies, Seann. It's been a great journey. And folks at home, next episode, we're going to be doing State of the Podcast, where we're going to debrief and talk about the Seann William Scott season what we thought about it overall, the highs and the lows, our favorites. If you missed some of the episodes in our season, this might be a good catch-up episode too. We'll kind of briefly mention things. We'll kind of go over metrics, but more importantly, we'll go over the next chapter of our GBGB saga, our next 10-movie marathon. It's been a long time with Seann. It's been about over 10 weeks of seeing just his movies for me.
I don't think I've actually. I couldn't tell you if I've actually watched a movie other than a Seann William Scott movie in the last 10.
I think
I've watched some TV.
Yeah, same. And it feels like a little wrong. Like I say this at the end of every season. When I see I saw the movie Contact the other day, and it's from like the 90s, and I was like, my brain was like, all right, where's Seann? I was like waiting for him to show up in this movie. And when I saw Matthew McConaughey, I was like, oh, damn it. Fucking A.
Rock season.
So, as you guys are talking, normally I'm on IMDb looking for the next movie. I'm on IMDb right now, but we don't have a next movie, so I'm just looking at stuff for American Pie.
Yeah.
I went to the photo gallery, and there's 242 photos for American Pie on IMDb. Approximately 5% of them are of Ben Affleck.
What?
Who is not in this movie.
It's because of Casey.
Oh, because of Casey. Oh my God, that was okay. There's the
probably
link.
that's funny though.
There's 10 photos of him.
Because it was the red carpet event for it or something.
Yeah.
Since we don't have a movie to pick this week, do you guys want to do a GBGBs and Joys? Do you guys have stuff you've been seeing or stuff you've seen that you want to recommend?
Man, I don't know.
Or something you've been enjoying if it's not any media.
Benadryl.
Helping you with allergies?
I popped 2 bennies last night and slept like a rock.
Okay. Does it help you sleep?
Don't do that, every day.
No,
Yeah,
I was doing some yard work, and there's a shrub that we have, and apparently I'm allergic to it. It's right in front of my porch, and so I broke out in hives.
Oh my God.
Had a super bad head fog, and
Benadryl. It's a good drug.
Always
for your
have it.
allergies.
You need it. This is GBGBs and Joys. Recommend. Have Benadryl that's not expired in your house for safety reasons.
Could save your life. It's a good recommend. One of mine is Fleabag. I just watched that. I've had a lot of people recommend me Fleabag. I've been delaying it for years. And finally, Amber and I sat down and watched it. It's on Amazon Prime. There's only 2 seasons. It's really, really short. Stars Phoebe Waller-Bridge. And holy shit, I fucking ate it up. I devoured it. It's a great show. It was described to me as a show that will ruin other shows for you. And it's true. I wish Fleabag would make a season 3. I wish it would make a season 100. It was a great show. Fucking love Fleabag.
Why? What is it? I don't know.
It looks. I've seen an episode or 2. It's really good.
Quirky BBC humor that's also very real and dramatic, but also really fucking funny. And the other one is Unicorn Warriors Eternal. I just started on HBO. Jace, have you seen that one? I feel like that might be maybe up your alley. It kind of reminds me of a little bit Hilda, a little bit Adventure Time. It's made by the guy who made Samurai Jack and Primal. It's just very vibey. It's very kind of Tumblr core steampunk, that kind of shit. It's a fantasy animated show. I fucking love it. I think it's made for me. I don't know. I'm on episode 2, Unicorn Warriors Eternal. I don't know if it's based on a comic book. It's on HBO. Just watch episode 1 and see if you'll vibe with it. I think it's very specific. If you don't, no big deal, but I like it.
That's how I feel with that Netflix show that's Midnight.
And The Bear.
The Bear.
Midnight Gospel.
The Bear. Midnight Gospel. Jace, I think you pitched The Bear months ago or maybe last year.
At least it got to your queue pretty quickly.
It did. It's been on my list. I did also watch, me and Amber watched all of The Bear in 3 days and also super enjoyed that one. The Bear's fucking amazing. Season 2 is coming out. Cross promotion. Jace, do you have something you want to recommend?
Legend of Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom.
Oh, you've been playing.
I've probably got close to 94 hours on that game already.
Damn.
It's been out for 2 weeks.
I heard it's good.
It's fucking good. You can do a whole lot of crazy shit.
Don't tell me nothing.
Exactly. I won't. Except that you can do crazy shit.
I'm on month 7 of only playing Elden Ring. So I don't think I have the mental bandwidth to get another game.
We're trying to beat Harry Potter, but it's been tough. Just because
I gave up on Harry Potter.
It's fair.
Not going back.
Same with us, but Julie needs to beat it just for completion's sake.
Alrighty, folks. Join us next week. Thank you for listening throughout the Seann William Scott season. Subscribe, like our shit, hit us up on IG, DM us about your favorite Seann William Scott movies. Let us know if you end up watching one of these. I love it when people DM us and let us know. They're like, hey, I watched fucking Bloody New Year and it was fucking terrible. And they gotta give us a review. That always makes me happy to receive. So please do that. If you ever watch Stark Raving Mad, we definitely want to hear what you think. But please join us, and also let us know what you want to see on the show too. If you have an idea for a season pitch, maybe we'll incorporate it into a future State of the Podcast and give you a shout out. But with that, do you guys want to close with a Seanism? Our last Seanism?
We're not gonna only do Seanisms next week.
We can do Seanisms
podcast.
every season. We can do a Seanism State of the Podcast.
Yeah, every sentence is just us.
Okay.
Like, we'll have to write them down so that we can reread the paragraphs.
Yeah, we'll have to go through the episodes. Ryan, do you want to start us off?
Yeah. Galadriel.
Galadriel. Okay. Galadriel is the elf
Elf Queen
person
from Lord of the Rings.
Yeah. Okay. Always
Wears
Really?
large
boots,
While.
hunting.
emus.
Oh. Are we done?
Oh, that's it.
was
Okay,
good. That
yep,
was a
that's
good
true.
closure.
That's true, and keep that in mind, folks.
We haven't given advice a single time.
No.
We always just make a statement.
I feel like Sean would mention that in a critical moment in one of his movies. Wait, guys, she always wears big boots when she's hunting emus. And I don't know, throw a grenade at him or something. I don't know. Thanks for joining us.